Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of our Todo app with Django and React. In the previous episode, I showed you how to build a RESTful API for this Todo application using Django and Django REST Framework. You get. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to use React.js to consume the APIs we built in the previous video in episode 1 of this series. So before we proceed, I need to show you how to enable CORS on your Django project. What does CORS stands for? CORS stands for cross-origin request sharing. So without CORS on your Django project, React can't consume your API. So you need to enable CORS on your Django project. So I'm going to show you how that is being done before we start consuming our APIs with React.js. So let's get started right away. So I have two articles here. Two articles for enabling CORS on Django and also this on enabling CORS. So I'm going to link one of them for you in this video's description so you can check it out and understand how enabling of CORS on Django works. So CORS is CORS and it stands for cross-origin request sharing. And from what I have here, it says CORS is a mechanism to allow interaction with resources hosted on different domains. So you can see what it means. So you can read more on it. I'll give you guys links to these articles. This is one of the articles. This is another article here. This one is from PyP, from Python, PyP, So you can check any of them. I'll link them for you to read more about it. So let's get started right away. So let's use this article here. So first of all, you need to come over here and install this package called Django CORS headers. So just copy this. I'll just copy this now. Let's install it. So it's your Django project. Okay. Ctrl+C, let's build the server and then we install this. Don't waste my time. Ctrl+C. Okay, so I already have pip install Django-CORS-headers So that's the command there, enter. So you're gonna have it installed right away. So once that is going on, you can just go on, come back here. After I've done that, now make sure you have these CORS headers inside of your installed apps. Just copy this. So to ascend.py file, let's go back to settings.py file. Okay, we're here already. Just pop up. The PC has been overworked. Okay, just over here. And paste it. Okay, we have CORS headers already installed, and make sure you add it to your installed app is necessary. Once you've done that again, what's the next thing you need to do? You can just create under the middleware. We have this CORS headers.middleware.CORS middleware. Just copy it, and it must be above the common middleware, as you can see over here. Okay, to the browser, to our Django project, go down to your middleware section. You paste in the CORS headers middleware, and it must be above the common middleware which you have over here. Just on top that. So paste it there. It's there already. Okay, so what's the last thing again? Alright, so we have the allowed origins. So what this means is this now. We are going to simply restrict the number of domains that can access our APIs instead. We need to restrict them again. So right here you can see we have some domains here. These are the only domains that can access the given endpoint that has been created. But for us now, we are going to have a different list of domains to access our APIs. So we just copy this now, and we are going to simply update it to suit what we want. So let's just go to the bottom of the page. Let's put it there. Just enter, and then we paste. So now, right now, if we check closely our React domain, you can see it looks like localhost 5173. So this is what we are going to place in the allowed origin. So let's go there and just change this now. Remember, the protocol is HTTP. We're not using HTTPS because currently we're on the development environment. So we're going to say HTTP, and then it's called, let's be sure again what it's called. It's called localhost then 573. So let's go back to where we came from. Since am I forgetting something? Localhost.573. Okay, localhost and then colon 5173 and then / make sure you come over here again and put in the HTTP. We could just copy this again and paste here. I'm going to change this to 127 to the numeric value of localhost 127.0.0.1. So I think this is it now. These are our allowed origins. So once we set this now, these are the only origins that can access our APIs. These are the only origins that can access the API. So that's it. So let's see, let's be sure nothing else is left. Okay, I think we've covered the most important. The other things that are there are just the defaults you get. So you can read more about it if you want to. Okay, so right now this is what is going to happen here now. So previously I already built this to-do application using only React.js, but this time around we want to use React and Django, whereby we are going to be consuming a backend. You understand? Django is one responsible for the backend, and React simply just consumes the API. You understand? Previously I made everything in React, instead whereby I had to go declare my to-dos in a static way, which is up here. These are the to-dos. You can see my to-dos here, they are all static, but right now everything is dynamic because we have a backend attached to it. So if I can follow along with this episode, I want you to go down to my channel just here. Here's the page. Just here you can see I have these two React tutorials here, the part 1 and the part 2. On these two episodes, these two videos, I took my time and I taught how to build a to-do app with only React. Understand? So make sure you understand these two videos well, because in this particular episode I won't be building this thing from scratch. I will just show you how we can consume the APIs using React. So for us to build up this structure from scratch again, just go and watch these two videos I showed you here. Don't worry, I'm going to drop the link in this video's description. You can see it's called Build a To-Do App with React.js Part 1, and the other one is called Build a To-Do App with React.js Part 2. So just watch these two videos so you can be able to come up with this with this structure. It's not difficult, it's well explanatory. So go watch it, and once you're done watching and understanding, you can come out to this episode, and then we can now start consuming the Django API we built in the previous episode. So let's get started right now. Okay, so right now we want to start consuming the APIs. We want to start consuming the APIs we built in the previous episode. So I'm going to simply clear out all these objects we have in these to-dos. I'll clear everything. So I'm going to have an empty array now. Okay, now we have an empty array. So what do we do now? We want to fetch data from the APIs we built, you understand? So right now this is the DOM. Let me show you the URL we're going to fetch from. So let me just comment it down and show you how it works. Okay, go down to us.pyfy, just here. So let me just put in the path, the URLs you want to consume from URLs. The first one is, we're going to say 127. Let's say 127, yeah, 127.0.0.1, then -8000 / to-dos. It's going to give us all the to-dos we have in the database, understand? So this gives us every to-dos we have in the database, and we can also create new to-dos using this endpoint. We could let's just add http then /. So this is much more like a URL now. So this is for the first one, to get all to-dos and also to create new to-dos. We use this endpoint, and to retrieve a specific to-do, let's say http, then we say //127.0.0.1, then 8000, then /to-dos / the ID. So with this second URL we can retrieve a single to-do, we can update a to-do, and we can also delete a to-do. You understand? This is the URLs we have here. You can see them now. So this is what we are going to do right here. So now let's proceed. So now in React, now we are going to use Axios to consume this API. We are not going to use the fetch API. We are going to use something more advanced, which is Axios. You get? So our React app now, let's install that. Just Ctrl+C. I'm going to install Axios right now. Okay, so for us to install Axios, now on this command npm install Axios, npm install, then we say Axios, right? Axios, am I going to enter? So you're going to install Axios, and with Axios you can consume this API as a Django REST Framework. Let's get started right now. So right now we already have Axios installed. So now let's continue now. So right now we're going to use the effect hook to fetch data. Understand what the effect hook? This is how it works here. It always executes a function whenever our page is rendered. Understand? That's what the effect hook does. Understand? So currently our page has already rendered, and the effect hook right now is going to simply execute whatever function we pass into it. Hope you understood. So now let's continue. Because right now our the to-do list now is empty. That's because we've removed all the dummy data we are using in these to-dos, in this in this state hook, this to-dos hook, you understand, this to-dos we have here. So right now we want to now update this to-dos now by fetching from our API. So we're going to come here and say use effects. So let's just continue. So just on top here we'll say use effects. So we need to import this. It should suggest it. So use effects. Let's do it again. It should just import for us. Okay, since it did not import, import from on top there. We need to import it from React. Make sure you import it if it does. So use effect down. We have it over there. So it always returns an arrow function. So now I'm going to just put in an arrow function there, and then put in this arrow function you get now. So curly braces is next. Why is it wasting my time? Okay, now I'm going to say ashios. Remember we have to install ashios dot. Before we proceed, we need to also import ashios. I forgot. So now let's just import ashios too. So why are you taking time? My PC is overworked, so it's kind of slow. But let's proceed. So I'm going to say import ashios from ashios instead. So I think that's it. So once that's done, I'm going to just say ashios.get. Remember our URL I told you about is this. We have it here. So we're going to want to get all to-dos. Just copy, Ctrl C, and then to where we have to our React app. So ashios.get then. What was it? Don't waste. So ashios.get now, putting the URL, the endpoint, then we paste here. So this is the endpoint. Now since we've done this now, we're going to return a promise instead. In the promise we're going to say .then. Now this promise now is going to have a response as the argument. Instead, the response we want to console.log this response. Let's see what this response looks like. Let's say console.log. Let's say response res instead. So let's see. Oh, I spelled console wrongly. Console. So let's see. I still train an error. I said .then. Oh, sorry. It should point to. Should be an arrow function. Okay. This is the then block. This is the then block. It ends here. So let's see what it looks like. So to do now. So just to the console. Let's see what it looks like. So currently I'm seeing some errors here. Let me just make this big enough for you to see. So you scroll down, it says you can see it says that response is not defined. I guess because we checked to see my Django project is not running. That was a mistake on my end. Make sure your Django project is running instead. So let's run the Django project again. So let's see Python. Okay, let's run server. Make sure it's running, and let's see it. Let's just come back again. Okay. So after I run server, because we have an error, it says that in course alert origins should not have paths. So what it's saying is this now. Under your course alert origin in your settings.py file, make sure you remove this / at the end. Remove them. Make sure it's removed. Once you remove them, this error is going to disappear. Understand? So my server is trying to run again, and once it's run, I hope so the error is going to disappear. So let's wait for it. Okay, so right now the error is gone. So you can check, if you check closely now, this is our Django domain, and that's what I added here. If you check, this is our Django domain over here. This HTTP, that's what we are using over here, and then this URL path. Hope you get. So right now our Django server is running. Make sure it is running. So once it's running now, to the browser, refresh this page again, and let's hope so there was no error this time. So refresh the page, and let's see what it consoles out. Perfect. So right now you can see now it's giving us what we want. You can see we have our response returned to us. Understand? So we check closely from our to-do application. We are trying to fetch data from this endpoint, and then we have to then have and then after you try fetching, we are going to fall to a promise, and this promise is going to give us the actual data. But right now we just console the response, and this is what the response looks like. You can see what the response looks like. What we want the actual data. If you open this data, click on it, and you can see our to-dos. Read the React book, learn to code, pray to go, read books. This is the actual to-do we want. I hope you get. So come over here now and just say, let's just say console.log response.data now. So let's see, refresh this page. Okay, you can see right now we have our data now, only the data. That's what we are having right now. Perfect. So let's continue. So just here Okay, so I'm going to make this a single line. I don't want it to be on double lines, so let's just make it a single line. So if it's on a single line, there's no need for the curly braces, there's no need at all. So let's remove it now. So right now we've gotten what we want, right there. We've gotten what we want, right? So right now our response or data is actually holding the list of to do we want. Understand this res.data. Understand that one is holding the to do we want. Understand. So let's see again. You can see it over here. This is what we want, right? So what we want to do now is I want to update our to do. Remember, our to do is an empty array. We want to update it with this response or data we are having. So how do you go about that? It's just simple. Just come here and say set to do's, then we just pass in res.data. So please and please make sure you watch the React tutorial I talked about, where I built this React app with only React.js. Instead, so this is the link over. I'm going to link down those videos in this video's description. So make sure you watch it. Where is it again? So okay, you can see them here. These two. Make sure you watch them and understand them. Once they are well understood, you can then follow along with what I'm doing instead. So that's it. Okay, so currently I want to show you guys something before I proceed. Just up here, you need to also add a dependency array to this use effects. If you don't do that, this function is going to just keep calling this endpoint. It's going to keep on fetching continuously, non-stop. So to prevent that, you need to add a dependency array just here. Just do this and it's going to prevent the continuous fetching of data. Okay, so this is it now. So right now we have our success. This is the success block. If everything goes well, the dot then is being called. Understand? But there might be an error, there might be a network issue, or someone might be using the wrong endpoint. Understand? So we need to also catch those errors that might come up. So right now I'm going to declare another state. I'm going to call this state errors. I'm going to say const, then I'll say errors, and then we'll say set errors, and then it's going to be an empty string. I'm going to say use state, then I'm going to assign that to an empty string. So right now our errors is set to an empty string. You understand? So let's continue. So just under here, after the dot, then we're going to add a dot catch. You understand? This is a promise. If everything goes well, the promise is going to be resolved. If there's an issue, the promise is going to be rejected. Instead, so we're going to handle the reject part over here. Now I'm going to say dot catch, and then I'm going to just come here and say error. And then what we want to do now is I want to simply change the values of errors from an empty string to the actual error message. Hope you get. So I'm going to say error dot. I'm going to just come over here and say set errors. It's going to be equal to error dot message instead. So that's it right away. So now let's see what the problem. Let's see now. Okay, so our browser. Let's see what we have there. You can see. You can watch closely now. Our to do has been restored. In instance has been restored. That's because after we updated this empty array, we had to pass these to dos as a prop to this to do list component. Where is it again? I think I need to find it. To this component right here, to do list, we have to pass as a prop. You can see it here. And in this component, we have to go there. Where's the component now? This is the component over here. In this component is open was wrong. Okay, in this component now we have to then map through those to-dos, and then we have to get in each of the to-do items. You understand? That's why I said make sure you watch the tutorial where I taught how to build this to-do app with only React. If you understood that tutorial, you are going to definitely understand what I'm doing here. Instead, make sure you watch it. It's not long, just watch and understand it. Once we've done that already, as I was saying now, so you might have a network glitch, or someone might be accessing the wrong domain, a wrong endpoint. So how do we undo that error? So now right now I'm going to place our errors just in our app.js, just here. So I'm going to put the paragraph tag there, p tag, and I'm just going to put in there, just say errors instead. So errors, and then I'm going to do this. Why are you shaking? Okay, so now just say over here, just say errors, and I'll do and. Okay, now so if you have an error, it's going to display on the screen. So how do an error occur? I thought it might be a network error or a wrong endpoint. So I'm going to just call a wrong endpoint. I'll put in an extra S there. So right now this endpoint is wrong, it's invalid. So let's see the browser. I can see right now it says request failed with status code 404. So right now, if I refresh this page now, you see we will have no to-dos here again. That's because we are fetching data from a wrong endpoint, and these to-dos we have here are not on this endpoint. Hope you get. So let's just refresh the page now. You can see now our to-dos now is empty. There is no data again. So go back to the browser now. Okay. Just here now, you can see we have the error message on top of the screen now. It tells you what is wrong. That you are using the wrong endpoint. 404 means not found. So that's it. That's just it. That's why the error. That's why we're having this error, because we are using the endpoint that is not found. If you check closely, the endpoint we have now to do is just this one, and we can't find this one that we are using here. That's why we have this 404 error there. Okay, so once that is, so let's go back here, remove this S there, and everything is going to work fine. So right now, this is our catch block helps to catch the error message we are likely to face. So currently, we are still on development environment. So these errors can either be a wrong endpoint or a network issue. You understand? So those are the popular errors you're likely to face. You get? So that's it now. So the next one to do now, I want to simply delete it to do. You understand? So right now I've handled that already. So right now in React, there's something we called the optimistic rendering and the pessimistic rendering. Understand? So what the optimistic rendering means is this. Now we are going to simply update the UI before we make changes to the server. We are going to update the UI before making changes on the server. That's the optimistic rendering. For the pessimistic rendering, we have to send to our server first and then update the UI. You understand? So for the optimistic rendering, it's more faster than the pessimistic rendering. You get? It's more faster because you are updating the UI instantly, and then we persist the changes by sending to our server. You understand? So that's how it works. Right now we're going to follow the optimistic approach by updating our UI first. And we check closely, our UI has already been updated. That's why I said make sure you watch the to-do app tutorial where I taught with only React. I covered everything there from scratch. You understand? So right now our UI has been updated. So what I want to do now, I want to send the data now to the server. That's what we want to do right here. So how do we go about this now? So I'm going to call this ashes again, but right now I'm going to send a delete request. So I'm going to say ashes dot delete. So the same. Right now I'm going to get the endpoint, but right now we need to also get the ID of this. We need to also get the ID of this to do. So let's just get this endpoint here. Paste here. Sorry, it should be in the quotes. So paste there, and then we say plus, then ID. Make sure you put your / here. Necessary. So that's it. So now I want to delete this stuff now. So what do we do after deleting? So we want to just simply catch an error. There might be an error you get. So right now to delete it to delete it to do, we're not expecting to do anything. After we delete, it deletes instead. So we want to catch possible errors that might occur. So just put in the catch block now. We're not using the then this time. Just put in the catch, so we'll just say error, and then we just say set errors to errors.message, right? So error.message. So that's just it. Let's see if it works to the browser. This guy should leave. What is this still doing here? Refresh the page. Okay, the error message is gone. So I want to delete. Let's delete right now. Let's start from the bottom. Delete. It's gone. So refresh the page now. The UI has been updated. So for you to be sure if this actually works, just refresh your browser and see. So refresh. You can see it actually worked because the to do right now we only have 4 to dos left instead. So we check our server is only having 4 to dos now. If we delete this one again, you can see it's gone. We refresh the server, you can see everything is working fine. Everything is working fine. Okay, everything works fine now. Everything works fine. First of all, we had to update the UI, and then we had to persist the changes by sending the request to the server. So that's how we are doing. We are using the optimistic approach. So with this approach, our UI responds faster. Okay. So right now, let's assume now someone is trying using a wrong endpoint to delete a to-do. Delete a to-do like this, a wrong endpoint to get. So we need to also be able to. So let's see what happens right there to the browser. Put in a wrong endpoint, and let's see. Refresh this page. Let's see what goes on. So click on the delete button. You can see right there, it deleted the to-do. The to-do has been deleted despite the fact we are using the wrong endpoint. But if I refresh the page back, if I refresh, that to-do comes back. You can see it's back. So how do we prevent this back and forth? So it's like this now. So first of all, up here, I'm going to create a new variable now. I'm going to call this variable original to-dos. I'm going to say original to-dos should be equal to the current to-dos. So I'm going to simply spread out the current to-dos using these 3 dots and then to-dos. This has been spread out. So once there's an error, what we're going to do now is this. We're going to simply revert back to the current to-dos. Instead, so I'm going to come over here and just say set to-dos to original to-dos instead. So that is how it is. So let's see how everything works this time. To the browser, refresh. Remember, we are using the wrong endpoint this time. You can see, refresh this page and let's try again. Everything works well. So delete this, delete. You can see it's tried going, but it came back instantly. You understand? Try again. You can see in the sense. So that's what this original to-dos helps us do. So if there's an error message, we revert back to the original to-dos. You get? So that's it. So the next step now is for us to now create new to-dos. You understand? So let's do that right away. So I have the function over here. So let's go on. We're going to just come over here and say ashes.post, the same URL we've been using. So make sure change that to the correct URL now. So post now, just copy this, Ctrl+C, and we paste here. Okay, ashes.post now. So what do you want to post now? So continue. So we're going to pass in the actual data we want to post. So that data is what we have here. This is the data we want to post, right? This is it over there. Okay, so how do we prove it? Let's see. Okay, so once we've done this now, we're going to have a promise restored to us. So now we are going to undo so let's undo our promise now. We're going to say .then. After we've done this now, we're having our response. This right here, we're going to simply update our to-dos now with the new response data. I'm going to say set to-dos to response .data. It's not complicated at all. So response.data. So everything works well. Let's add a new to-do to the browser. Refresh this page. Okay. So right now I'm going to say let's learn JavaScript. Learn JavaScript. That's a to-do now. I hope it works. Okay. Click on add. It was added. Learn JavaScript, but we have an error. It is not getting to the server. It's just updating the UI. You can see having an error, but we don't know what the error is. It's saying the endpoint is not found. Okay, I think it's my fault here. I need to remove this / I added there. Remove this. Sorry, that was my mistake. It's not necessary there. If you check our Django endpoints, we don't have a / understand? So that was my mistake. So let's try again. Let's say learn JavaScript, and then click on add. Ouch. Okay, before trying again, make sure you refresh your page. Refresh now. So let's learn JavaScript this time. Learn JavaScript. So click on add. It has been, why the error? Sorry, I can explain why that's. It has been added. Learn JavaScript. Let's try something else. Play PS5. Add. It has but shows an error. Wow. Okay, sorry, my mistake. If you try adding a new to-do now, click on add. You can see it has, but it still shows this error. I made a mistake here, just on this line here, up here. Instance, after we might have sent a request to our server, we need to also update our to-dos. How do we go about updating things? I updated it wrongly, so this is how we do it here. Currently, we have to spread out the current to-dos. We spread it out. using the spread operator. After we've done that already, we then have to now add the incoming data. We need to add that also. So right now this is an array. It has the current to-dos inside of it, and right now I want to also add a new to-do that we're about to add inside. So I'm going to just come over here and say rest.data. Remember that's what is holding the to-do we want to put inside now. This response or data, you understand? So that's it over there. So let's see what it holds this time. So delete PS5, delete it now, refresh this, guys. So come over here, play PS5 and add. You can see it has been added successfully. There is no error message again. So that's how it works. Yeah, so right now we've handled the good parts. What about if there is an error? So how do we go about that? So remember the way we did it before. We have to create an original to-dos. So up here, just say const original to-dos. That's going to hold the current to-dos we have. We're going to set that to an array and then spread out the current to-dos we have there. To-dos. After we've done that now, we might have an error. So just say .catch. And then the .catch now is going to be, so we're going to have the error message, and then we're going to update our error message first. And also set errors. There might be so remember, some might use a wrong endpoint. Set errors to error.message. After we've done this now, we need to now revert back our to-do to the original to-do. Remember, if there's an error, we have to revert to the original to-dos. So I just say set to-dos to original to-dos. Okay, let's try a wrong endpoint this time. Wrong endpoint. So to the browser, refresh. Let's add something new. Let's just say then Python and click on add. You can see it tried adding it, but because of our catch block, we have to revert back to the original to-dos we have. Instead, we have our error message on top here. Instead, we're using the wrong endpoint, so it can't work. So that's how it says. So the next step now is for us to work on updating the given to-do. Okay guys, right now we want to update a given to-do. So how do we go about it? So it's like this now. So right now I want to get the current to-do, right? This is the update to-do function. So right now I want to get the current to-do. So I'm going to pass this here as to-do. So this to-do is here now. I need to go give this a value. So this is a parameter. So I'll go down to where I call this function, and that's in this to-do list.jxs. It's called update to do. So I'm going to look for where I called the function update to do. Yeah, okay, this is the function over here. This is where I called it. Okay, so right there, what I need to do is this. Now I'm going to create a state up here. I'm going to call this state. I'll say let to do. Okay, let's just say let's to do task, or because I'm having a name clash here, so I'm trying to prevent this naming clash I'm having here. So I'm thinking of the right way to go about this. So we have this to do here. I'm going to say to an object. So I want to simply use an object right there. So just in this to do item function, this to do item, I want to update this to do to the current to do that we just clicked on. So I just come over here and say, I'll say set to do to. I'll just pass in the value here. Just say to do. I'll just say set to do to do. So when I call this function called to do item, where do I call it again? To do item. Okay, I called it here. So right here, I'm going to simply pass this to do as the argument to the parameter instance. So to do, I think that should solve the problem. So that's it. So go back to our.jxs now. So we have our to do here. Okay, so right now I'm going to simply refer to this as our to do. So what do I need to do now? Just remove this guy. So let's call the ashes again. Ashes .patch, and then remember the URL is called this to do's. So I want to copy everything. I also need the ID. Ctrl C. So just here paste it. So remember, we're trying to update the given to do, so you must always pass in the ID. So right now, this is our new to do. Our updated to do is going to be, I'm going to call it updated to do. Updated to do should be equal to this. So it's going to be what's it called again? It's going to be an object, and I'm going to simply spread out the object, and then I'm going to set the complete attributes. Sorry, not the complete attribute, but the task field to this text we have here. That's the current value text. Understand? So that's it. So once we've done this already, I can then pass this updated to do. I can pass it over here, pass it as updated to do. Yeah, so this should solve our problems now. Okay, let's see if everything works out. So let's see. Okay, refresh. So let's try and update the given to do. Let's change this to read a Django book. Click on add. You can see it reflected. Refresh the page to be sure if it's updated. The server. Okay, server starts an updater. You can see everything is working. The update is working. So the next thing to do, we want to work on setting a to do to completed instead. So how do you go about this? If I refresh this page now, you see it goes back to, you can see they are all gone. So now how do you right now want to work on updating? If you click on any of these checkboxes, that means that to do has been completed. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, we have here as a complete function. We have it here, the complete function. Okay, this is a complete to do function. So how do you go about it? It's very similar to the update function, super similar. Okay, that's it. So let's proceed. Just right here we have this field called status, but currently we are using a field called completed from Django. It's called completed. So let's change this to completed, and not, it's no longer, let's say completed. Completed should be equal to, let's change it to true. Okay, so right now we want to work on completing it to do. So how do you go about it? So we're going to call that same, we're going to call something as similar as this, very similar. Just copy this, Ctrl C. We are trying to also update instead. We are trying to update the to do. So where's the complete function? Okay, just here, just underneath here, we'll paste this here. So remember, we are doing the ashes.patch. We are using patch because in Django we use patch as a method instead. So that's in the previous episode. So ashes.patch. So we got the ID of the to do, which is up here, and then the updated to do. We have to also get that from here. To do, we're going to pass it up there to do, and then we need to give this update. This is a parameter. You need to go give it the actual value. So go down to your to do list .gxs. Here we have the complete to do. Where do we call that function called? Okay, it's over here. So I'm going to pass to do as the argument. Remember, we declared to do up here. This is to do up here. Again, so I'm going to declare to do as the argument for complete to do. Hope everything works. Okay, so that's it. So once we've done that, yeah, to do. I'm not making a mistake. Complete to do. Okay, to do our app.gxs. So we have our to do there. So our updated to do now. So right now we're going to set completed to true. We're not using tags this time. Completed to true. Remember, completed is a boolean field from Django. So we need to set it to true. I'm going to set that to completed to true. So once we've done this, we'll do the same thing for. So this is if this field is checked. If this field is checked, right? So what if the field is unchecked? What do? We're going to do the same thing. Just paste this here, and then we set completed to false. You understand? So that's it. So let's see. That's why I keep on saying, make sure you watch the tutorial where I taught how you can build a to-do app with only React. If you watch that, I started from scratch. to building this, understand? But right now we are just on this comment video, we are just simply sending requests to our server. How we are doing here, understand? So make sure you watch that to understand the whole workflow you get. So right now let's see if everything works. Come back here, refresh this page. So let's simply check one of these boxes, click on check. Okay, let's see if it works. Refresh this page. Perfect, you can see this to do has been completed. If you go down to your Django admin, if you refresh this place now, refresh. Okay, please don't waste our time. Click on read the Django book. You'll see it has been completed. That's good. Okay, so that you come over here again. If I come back here and uncheck you, uncheck, it has been on. You can see, come back here and refresh this page. You're going to have this box unchecked. So refresh. It's gone. You can see everything is working. It's working, right? So what's the next item on the list? What's the next item? So the next item on the list is for us to filter the to-do. So I'm going to leave that for you to do. So I've already been able to update the UI, whereby we are not sending anything to the server. So we have to do next for it to work on this. I'm able to send the request to the server to filter this to do. It's simple, you can do it, just try it yourself. So that's it. So you check closely, we've not been adding our error messages from this update to do. We've not been adding it. Remember, I have to put in this set errors to update in case someone uses a fake or a wrong endpoint. So we've not been doing that. You can just add that yourself. We get, so we need to add it in this update to do. Just under here .catch, you add it up there and do the same thing again for the complete to do. You also need to add it under here and over here. So I think that is it for this tutorial. So we're able to like connect our to do app to an actual backend, understand? So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. So before you watch this current episode, make sure you watch the episode where I taught how you can build this React application with only React. If you watch that and understand that, you're going to definitely understand this episode where I showed you how you can connect React to a backend, understand? So that's it for this episode. So see you in the next video. So stay blessed and bye bye. I also give you the source code. I'll give you the link to the GitHub source code, so check out for it in this video's description. So thank you.